Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. I am Sergeant Ashley Jenrette with the Hampton Police Division's Public Information Office. Today, I am joined by Chief Mark Talbot, Deputy Chief Warren Gallup, Assistant Chief Kenny Ferguson, and Captain Rebecca Warren. Over the last few days, we have experienced an uptick in gun violence throughout the city of Hampton. The purpose of today's press conference is to address the concerns of our citizens and share the efforts of the Hampton Police Division to reduce these type of incidents. I will now turn it over to Chief Mark Talbot.
All right. Again, Sergeant. It's been a long time since I was Sergeant. Mark Talbot, Police Chief. I want to talk about what's happened in January of this year, but I want to start by talking about the end of last year. 2022 ended for the city of Hampton very well. We ended the year with a 30% reduction in homicides, and I want to thank my team. I want to thank the Hampton Police Division for their great work. I also want to thank the city for doing their part. We also ended 2022 with more than a 20% reduction in non-fatal shootings. We went into 2023 optimistic, but we did notice as we were analyzing crime conditions that the last quarter of 2022 started to spike just a little bit. The numbers weren't well outside the norm, but they started to increase a bit over the other portions of the year. And then January came. We've seen a spike in violence in January that has been alarming, and we're here to talk about that primarily. So far this year, we have a total of 15 fatal or non-fatal shootings. This represents 20 people who have been shot, and tragically 9 of the 20 have lost their lives. I want to go over the homicides that have occurred this year. On January 11th, we had an officer-involved shooting at Big Bethel and Todd's Lane involving homicide suspect Lamont Lewis. Then a few days later, on January 15th, we had a homicide at 17 East County Street. There, 19-year-old Joshua Scriven lost his life. On January 19th, Mr. Elliot Tubbs was murdered, and his son, James, was subsequently charged with that crime. On January 23rd, we had a homicide at 2563 West Pembroke Avenue. It was there that 46-year-old James Thompson lost his life. On January 26th at 707 South Fallon Court, we found 33-year-old Christopher Ragsdale had been killed in his front yard. Then on January 29th at 929 Aberdeen Road, we discovered that Dwight Jason McKinley was found dead inside the kitchen of his home. He had been tragically murdered as well. Mr. McKinley's family referred to him as Jason, and Jason's dad told me tearfully that he would have turned 40 on the eve of Valentine's Day this year. Sadly, he did not make it. And then last night, January 30th at 23 Salisbury Way, 3 people lost their lives. We discovered that DeJounte Nash, who was 24, and Destiny Layton, who was 25 years old and 8 months pregnant. Mr. Nash, Ms. Layton, and Ms. Layton's unborn child all perished. Tragic and senseless crimes that represent a lot of pain for families, a lot of pain for neighbors and friends, and a lot of pain for the city, and frankly, a lot of pain for this police division. We're here to let our city know that we're using this pain that they're feeling and we're feeling as motivation to bring safety and security back to this city. These aren't random crimes. Our victims were targeted. I'm very proud of, and I want to thank publicly our detective bureau that has worked tirelessly to bring these killers to justice. We will certainly do so with most, if not all, of these cases. Beyond those active investigations, our team has come together in this room, in fact, to talk about the steps that we will take to restore safety to the city, as I said. Our approach will be an all-hands approach, from me down to our executive team, some of whom are represented here, down to the youngest rookie on the force. All of us are going to be out in our hotspots. All of us are going to be playing a role in delivering safety to this city. We have a clear mission in place. We have partnered with our state and federal agencies who have agreed to come in and assist. I want to thank the Virginia State Police. I want to thank, again, our federal partners. We would also like to thank City Manager Mary Bunting and Assistant City Manager Steve Bond, whose leadership has been essential to us having the resources to do what we need to do. We've also partnered with other city agencies. We've partnered with our Neighborhood Watch. We're in contact with those folks, and we believe that we will be able to leverage their understanding of the neighborhoods to help keep everybody safe. There are also some key partners out there that would certainly cringe if I mentioned them publicly, but I'd like to thank those other members of the public that make everybody else's safety a big part of what they do and what they care about. We're very confident that over the course of the next few weeks, we will end this vicious spike in lethal violence. But I want to emphasize that we can't do it without the people who are impacted the most. There are a number of residents in affected areas. There are some friends and associates, and there are some neighbors out there that we really need to talk to. We recognize that they have been the most impacted by these crimes. We want to let them know very clearly, we're here for you. We need you to reach out to us. You can do so anonymously. You can send us a text. You can call the tip line, but we need those folks to reach out to us. We will partner with the city and get everybody through this, and we will make sure that we do not have to live through a spike like this again. And with that, I'll take questions.
You mentioned that you all are partnering with state agencies. How has the state police assisted you all this month in crime?
How have they assisted us? Could you?
Yes, how has state police assisted you all this month in crime?
So the state police typically are instrumental in reinforcing the work we do with traffic. They reinforce the work that we're doing on the interstate to keep this city safe. And they've offered to help as needed. They have offered and continue to support us in sharing intelligence information that they have available to support our efforts. And we deeply appreciate that.
And you said that these shootings are not random, they're targeted. Can you elaborate a little more on that? Are they, a lot of these we're seeing domestic related, or can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. So fatal and non-fatal shootings tend to work the same no matter where you are. We sometimes look out and think that bullets fly indiscriminately in neighborhoods. They don't. Fatal and non-fatal shootings tend to concentrate very heavily amongst small social networks. They concentrate among tight sections of our neighborhoods, and that's what we're seeing here in the city of Hampton.
Is there any reason potentially for this past spike in the past month?
You know, at the heart of violence is always somebody who's making a profoundly bad choice, and we all need to remember to place our angst and unhappiness there with the people that are making those choices. On a larger scale, why do we think we've seen a spike like this? Well, you know, in one sense, sooner or later, what's possible tends to happen. It's within the realm of possibility when we have a country in which we have more guns than people. We've created this recipe for urban environments to have an increased level of fatal and non-fatal shootings. So it is predictable that this level of violence is frankly unprecedented, and there's a lot of work to do to bring it back to quote-unquote normal levels, which feels like an oxymoron. So we're continuing to look deeply into what may be causing the spike currently.
And then kind of a two-part question. One, do you have any suspects in the shooting from last night? And just if you could talk about arrests made overall just in January with this spike.
So we do have suspects in these cases. I don't want to comment on a specific case. You alluded to what happened last night. I do want to say a little bit more about what happened last night. It is unbelievably tragic what happened last night. And if there are people, and we know that there are folks in that part of the city who have information about what went on, we desperately need to get the people off the street responsible for that crime. Desperately. If there is a standard or a line that is crossed in any neighborhood, it was crossed. It was crossed last night, and we've got to come together and bring that killer to justice.
You mentioned the tip line. How vital is that to what you guys do?
It is an essential part of us understanding what's happening. Frankly, much better than the tip line is calling us, texting us, come see us, schedule. We will meet you wherever you want. If that doesn't work, the tip line is awesome. And we would encourage anybody who's inclined to reach out to us that way to do that. We have an organization that has shown that it can be trusted. We are committed to bringing safety to this city in a way that is similar to how we police it any other day, with compassion and with a great deal of precision, with respect for everybody's rights in this city. We're going to do more of that, and the city can trust that that's what's going to happen. It takes a lot of courage, frankly, to do it that way. We need the same level of courage from members of these affected communities. We need that in return so that we can partner to bring safety to this city.
Today marks the year anniversary since Cody Bixby was reported missing. Has your department received any active leads, and where does this case currently stand?
We have received leads periodically starting 365 days ago today, and they've slowed down over the months, but they have continued to come in. It's an active investigation. It's one of a whole buffet of tragedies that we've dealt with over the last year. We believe that ultimately justice will be done in that case.
You feel like your clearance rate has to be kind of looked at in the realm of the most recent this month and see, are we doing this like we need to? And you guys had a drop in murders last year, so how does that affect your detectives and the clearance rate?
I don't know whether it's by nature or what have you. I'm never satisfied. So my team is clear that whatever number we end up with, we're looking for more. I know that the team shares a sense of urgency around each and every one of these cases. We want to solve all of them. Unfortunately, clearance rates are deeply tied to the people involved. They're deeply tied to the people involved. And we spend a lot of time looking at detectives and detective supervisors and police chiefs, which is fair. That's what we all signed up for. But clearance rates are about the people who know what happened. And when we are able to encourage the people impacted the most to partner with us, we're able to raise our clearance rates. We look forward to continue to build our reputation as an organization that can be trusted. But clearance rates are really a tough hill to climb without a partner on the other end supporting our efforts in those individual cases.
What was your clearance rate for 2022?
I do not know. We will certainly get that to you.
Are you able to elaborate what type of things, decisions we'll see from the Hampton Police Department going forward in the next few days and weeks to help with this fight?
So it's a really good question because many people may see nothing. We have a profoundly safe city. A profoundly safe city. We have pockets of neighborhoods that aren't safe. That's where we will be. And I'm not sure who out there who's watching right now is living in those neighborhoods. If you don't see us, you feel fortunate. If you do come out and interact with us, we will be out of our cars. We will have smiles on our faces. We will be there for conversation. We will want to understand what it's like in those neighborhoods. We will spend as much time as we need to spend in those troubled parts of our community. They should expect to feel safer and to see that we're enthusiastically delivering resources and a higher level of safety and security than they've seen in the past. They're going to see that we are deeply, deeply sorry that we didn't prevent these cases, but we're going to make up for it.
Can I ask on that point? You say they should expect to feel safer.
Yes.
But there's been a lot of violence this month. How can people expect to feel safer if a pregnant woman or child and a man all dead in the same incident one night combined with the other incidents?
Well, the reality is they won't unless, one, it's up to us to lead them back to safety. I wouldn't expect them to feel any differently if we don't deliver on our promises. That would be on us. But that's what we do. We go into neighborhoods and we have a clear understanding about the steps that we need to take while we're in those neighborhoods. We are clear on the conversations that we need to have. We're in fact clear on the people who are currently in those neighborhoods that we need to remove. There is plenty of that needs to happen as well. There are folks out there who think that they are going to dominate these spaces, and we will not let that happen. We are going to go out and make sure those spaces are safe for our residents, which will involve some tough conversation. It's going to involve enforcing the law in some cases, maybe many cases. What we're not going to do is we're not going to make more things illegal out there than are illegal now. We are not going to ruin relationships by indiscriminately putting our hands on people, whether they are deserving of it or not. As I said, we're going to do it with a great deal of precision, and that's just frankly how we always do business.
Is this the highest number of homicides that your department has seen in a single month since you've been leading the department?
Yes. Yes. Which makes us all really unhappy, frankly. Makes us all really unhappy. But we're gonna use that energy to turn it around.
Currently budget season. I know you've got a lot of priorities that you want to push through to the city council to make sure your budgets are covered and make sure you have enough support for your staffing and maybe for increased technology. What does this say what does your department say to those stakeholders who have a say, the mayor, the city council? What does this month make you want to say to them to influence your budget differently?
I frankly have an amazing city manager, assistant city manager, council, mayor. This is a great city, and I don't remember being told no. I don't remember somebody telling me, Chief, no, that thing you need to keep this city safe, you can't have it. I haven't seen it. I don't expect to see it. We don't operate like that around here. I've already been given clear indication that whatever this organization needs to keep this city safe, we will have. So I don't have any concerns about resources getting in our way, and they won't, nor will anything else.
And what was that number for homicides for this month in January?
So last night represents homicide number 7.
Thank you.
And to be clear, it represents 9 homicide victims.
Thank you.
You mentioned the partners that need to be part of the conversation in speaking up about the clearance rate. What, if there was a top line thing, hey, I need you, to the community, I need you to do this, what is that top line thing you need the community to be doing to help clear these, help stop this violence?
So these are tough times, just lightly alluding to Memphis. Tough times in policing, tougher times in urban communities, tougher times in urban communities. There are people who feel and do have reasons not to trust the police. There are folks out there that have really good reasons not to trust the police. I'm proud to say we haven't provided reasons that we shouldn't be trusted in the Hampton Police Division. The only way to turn around concentrated violence is for impacted members of the community, for police organizations, city governments, people who care, people who have resources, social service agencies, to partner, and that's what we do here, partner to go into those neighborhoods and not only deliver policing, because we can only fix so much. It's up to us to deliver safety, to make sure that lethal violence isn't pervasive in those spaces. It's up to the rest of city government. It's up to social service agencies and religious organizations to also pay attention to those parts of the community that are deeply impacted by these challenges. If we all come together and the community decides they're going to meet us out into those spaces, they're going to allow us into their homes to let us know what kind of experiences they're having, it becomes a perfect recipe for safety.
Just for clarification, you mentioned there were 7 homicides and 9 homicide victims. Even if you include the pregnancy, who's the 9th victim?
So, I hate to run through all of them again. Did you, the officer involved shooting of Lamont Lewis was the first? Did you got that one down in your book?
But you just said that you only counted 7 homicides. That's just why I was wanting clarification.
Right. 7 incidents of homicide with 9 homicide victims. Right? The most recent homicide was a triple. So 7, 3 in the last one equals 9 deaths.
Are you able to share how many homicides the city saw last year in 2022?
I probably could, but I didn't unfortunately prepare for that question, so I'd probably get the number wrong. So I'd rather not. We'll get it to you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, are we counting Lamont Lewis as homicide in a legal term for the numbers for the city?
Yes.
Okay.
Lamont Lewis is a homicide. We fully expect it to be deemed justifiable, but it's a homicide nonetheless. All right. Every life counts. Thank you. Thank you.
Hold on.